The satellite phone rang in the middle of the jungle. Static bled through before a voice did. It was Bill, county sheriff, friend, the kind of man who didn't call unless something was broken beyond repair. "Your sister's new man put her in the ICU," he said flatly. "Snapped her arms, shattered her legs. She refused his proposal, so he made sure she'd crawl before she'd ever walk again." I didn't breathe. "He's got lawyers, money. He'll walk." My blood ran cold. Then his voice dipped lower. "But he does party every night with his crew. I know the club owner. He'll stay quiet, and I'll be busy with another case." A door opening. An alibi, offered without being asked. The call ended. I stood in the dark, sweat on my hands though the night was cool. I packed with precision. Passport, cash, pistol stripped and oiled. My team never saw me leave. First flight out. No plan, no hesitation. Just a pulse under my skin, steady, merciless. She was my sister, and someone had mistaken her silence for weakness. Hospitals have their own smell, antiseptic and failure. I found her in room 406, bandaged, broken. Tubes snaked into her veins. The sound of machines filled the silence she couldn't. Her eyes opened when she sensed me, fragile, guilty. She tried to mouth something, but the swelling silenced her. I pressed her hand gently, not for comfort, for restraint, because inside, the storm wanted to rise. The man who did this, Ethan Cross, local businessman, young, wealthy, dripping charm like venom. I studied him from a distance first. News articles, public appearances. He smiled like he believed the world was his reflection. But there was more. His company funneled donations to politicians. His lawyers crafted exits before trials even began. His money wasn't just defense, it was a weapon. My sister had trusted him, and when she said no, he'd decided to remind her that no meant nothing. She wasn't his first. Bill's tone had carried that weight. But if Ethan thought he was untouchable, he'd never met someone like me. I didn't come back as a brother. I came back as a shadow. The club was the first thread, a glass palace built on money laundering and whispered deals. I watched from corners, from rooftops, from the darkness between neon lights. Ethan arrived each night with his entourage, smiling, drunk, always surrounded by women who laughed too loudly, eyes glazed with chemicals and promises. I memorized his rhythm. Which nights he left early, which nights he lingered until dawn. The guards he trusted, the ones who pretended loyalty while watching the clock. Meanwhile, I pulled records, bank transfers that tied him to offshore accounts, videos of him slipping into private rooms with girls half his age, documents that would burn his empire to ash if exposed. Piece by piece, the facade cracked. But this wasn't just about evidence. Evidence could be buried. Bribes could bury deeper. No, this had to be personal, calculated, surgical. He needed to feel the walls close, to realize too late that they had been built by my hands. The truth arrived quietly, like all sharp things do. One of his women slipped me a phone, trembling. "He thinks we don't notice," she whispered, "but he records everything. Everything. Inside, videos, violence disguised as love, confessions muttered in drugged stupors, contracts signed under threats. Enough to ruin him. But I didn't go to the police. Not yet. I went to him. He found me waiting in his private booth, calm, seated with a drink untouched. His grin faltered. Who the hell? I slid the phone across the table. Play. His own face filled the screen, his own voice, his own hands breaking what they touched. He went pale. The mask cracked. Where did you get this?" I didn't answer. I only watched. Because the moment he saw his empire unravel in his own reflection, I knew he understood. This was no accident. He stammered, offered money, power, pleas disguised as arrogance. I leaned closer. My voice was low, steady. My sister's bones will heal crooked. Her life is carved with your fingerprints. You don't get to walk away clean. I pressed record on my own phone, let his panic spill into words. You don't know what you're doing. I know exactly. I stood, leaving the evidence in front of him, a time bomb with no timer. By the time you figure out who else has this, your lawyers will be running for cover. Your partners will vanish, and the girls you broke will finally be believed. His lips moved, but no sound came. For the first time, Ethan Kross tasted silence. 2 weeks later, his empire was ash. Headlines painted him as a predator. His lawyers distanced themselves. His investors cut ties. He didn't go to prison immediately. Men like him rarely do. But he was finished, a pariah, a man without shelter. I visited my sister again. Her casts itched. Her spirit, though, flickered back into her eyes. She whispered, "Did you do something?" I only squeezed her hand, because she didn't need to know. The details belonged to me. As I left the hospital, the sun rose over the city, painting it in soft gold. For everyone else, a new day. For Ethan Kross, an ending. For me, nothing. No triumph, no victory. Only the cold clarity of a ledger balanced. Final line. I hadn't come home for justice. I came for silence. And now his screams would never leave it.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.